What's your story?
Spent the first 3 years of my life in Russia. Single mother, father was alcoholic, abusive. My mom was 23 when she had me. At the age of 3, we moved to London. I literally came from a part of Russia where it was like 9 black and white channels, no toilet. It's like the little like Turkish bathroom. It was meant to be like this fairy tale ending because it said like this little Russian village boy moving to London. Fortunately, it didn't quite turn out like that. I was reading about business, real estate, this, that, and that's kind of how I got started and how I expanded my worldview. I just started doing what the book said because, so many times you read a book or you get pieces of information, but it sits in your brain and it ends up kind of just rotting there. The books told me, meditate. So I started meditating. The books told me, go to the gym. So I started going to the gym. I started learning photography, videography. That is kind of how my agency was born because I had these one-off freelance things until I got to a point where people were asking me, so can you do this for us monthly? Had my creative agency and it was awesome. I was making like 10, 15,000 pounds a month at the age of 17. I'm a very nice person, but I'm also very blunt and like, I never want anyone to tell me what to do. In my life, I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. There's certain sacrifices that you need to take as a leader. I will always be the person who will work harder than my entire team. If I need to get my hands dirty, I'll do that. That I don't mind, that's being a leader. But someone else telling me what to do, that's a no-go for me. It felt like I was just looked at as a service provider, not just like an actual peer. It didn't feel like they were treating me like a business owner. To be quite frank, I just felt like my client's little bitch. The main reason that was because, and there was a lot of, and keep in mind, I'm 17 at the age, mature for my age, but like I didn't have that, the resilience that I have now as a business owner, and just the self-confidence that I have. It took me years and years of building systems, and like, that's the other thing is like, I will look at other people working, just repetitively doing the same thing for, let's say 100 hours. Whereas with me, like I'd rather spend 200 hours, but in that 200 hour build a system so that way I can remove myself from it. Yeah. Like the thing that kills people is thinking.
Yeah.
Is thinking and sort of that inaction. What should I do here? What time should I wake up? Oh, should I wear this today? Should I wear that today? That is kind of what eats away at you. So I want to eliminate as much decision making in my life as possible, and I want to remove as much complexity in my life as possible. So as you start to tap into higher levels, there's certain things that you need to get rid of. And as workload increases, there's certain things you need to get rid of. So for example, in 2020, one thing that I'm probably going to get rid of is just like Instagram. And I'll get rid of my Instagram, posting on Instagram stories. That's just one thing that I know I need to eliminate to move towards 8 figures a year. Like that is something I need to get rid of. Another thing that I would need to get rid of is probably just once again, like aggressively lowering my screen time even more. Yeah. Another thing that I might need to get rid of is like in the summer, I play tennis twice a week. That's all nice and stuff, but you got to remove stuff. 3 months in, I'm like, no, this is a distraction. Like I have to get rid of this. Like I have to eliminate this because I need to focus on hitting the goals that I've set for myself. The thing that stings the most is when you just realize that some shit in your life you just have to get rid of. Automating and delegating, at least you still reap the rewards from it. For some people, they're just gonna have to get rid of social media because it's weighing them down and it's holding them back from the potential they could reach to. If you could like automate or delegate social media, it's nice because you still get the benefits from it. But when you get rid of it, that's when you're like, I don't have this thing in my life anymore. Especially as you start tapping into higher levels, that's the thing that most people have to do. The main issues that people have when they're starting is mastering themselves. It's the unsexy stuff. Like people always wonder like why you had such a good, profound level of success at such a young age. I'm like, well, you see me at 19 and you see all these accolades, but then I was also a kid when I was 15 who was meditating in the school bathroom because I had photo video clients. So I had to do that at night and I was trying to get more photo video clients, and then I also had to go to school. So I was meditating in my school bathrooms for 30 minutes every lunch break. So that's the shit you don't see, or you don't see the fact that like I can tell you guys that I read a book a week, and people know that, as I said, from the age of 14 to 17, I read a book a week. But it's like, but you weren't there at 1:37 a.m. when I know I have to wake up for school at 7 a.m. But I'm like, no, I need to finish this book this week. That's the stuff that people don't realize, and that's I have its tattoo here, private victories. People don't internalize the private victories, and you see the public victory, but you don't understand the amount of painstaking private victories that went into it. So that is the main thing that I see with people who are first starting, is just all the unsexy stuff. If you are building your first business, or I see an agency owner out there and he tells me that he's working 10 hours a day, I immediately know he's full of shit. The number one way I know that like someone is just like a fucking idiot. It's just if they're like, oh, I hustle, I grind. It's like building a business is you're like a scientist. It's such a systematic approach. And also in terms of building your work capacity is such a systematic approach. Like I did an amount of work that was way smaller than I know I could do, but that's the whole point. You start by doing less than you know you can do, but it starts building that positive reinforcement. I was like, okay, cool. Yesterday I did what I said I was gonna do, and then I got a reward at the end of it. When I'm in full work mode in London, like I don't need to give myself an ice cream at the end of the day, or like the reward for me is just the momentum that I'm building. When you're out of routine and you get back into it, or you're trying to build discipline and routine, you need to literally give yourself a pat on the back. I see the entrepreneurial space as most people are like, yeah, you gotta hustle, grind, work 12, 14-hour days. That is like telling someone who is super scrawny, has never been to the gym, go to the gym for the first time and start by deadlifting 250 kilos. No, you start off by deadlifting 60 kilos with good form, and then you progressively overload from there. Focusing on the form first, making sure that you're working less, but when you work, your phone is on airplane mode in the other room. You have no distractions, you have notifications turned off on your computer. For me, I think getting success in life is hard. What's harder is keeping success. The reason that why most people fail, or they get the success they wanted, and then they don't manage to maintain that, is because they stop doing the things that got them to that place. If I could give myself a piece of advice, it would be to do exactly what I did, which is just try everything.